There is a real possibility that high streets could die a death now.
The vision of these boarded up buildings across the community on high streets, dilapidated areas, is very saddening to me.
The high streets, a lot of the chains, they don't care about the community.
High streets are a real source of local pride, real source of identity for places. All over the UK, we're seeing shuttered buildings on struggling high streets. There's a recognition that the retail-dominated model is dead and an appreciation that we need something new to replace it. For Power to Change, the solution to this high streets question is community and putting them at the heart of the future high street. Communities and community businesses often don't have the capital necessary to move at the pace of private investors to take on buildings. So we think a high streets buyout fund which can work at the pace of private capital and then purchase buildings on behalf of the community is a real solution that we need, which can help tackle this challenge across the country. So a really great example of a community that's doing this already is Union Street in Plymouth.
For both local people as well as anyone that came in on a naval ship, they would know that Union Street was the place to come and party.
10,000 strong at 2 a.m. in the morning, everybody out and about, Marines, Matlows.
I'd go get really dressed up, go to the Millennium, put on your best outfit.
This was the street that you came to have a good time in Plymouth.
I mean, it's world famous, isn't it, Union Street? It was lively, to say the least.
You're at the bridge up at one end and the bridge at the other end, and what happened in between here could be lawful or unlawful according to the needs of the time. Now it's just full of derelict buildings.
Nudge is a community benefit society. We're bringing buildings back into use in a way that creates long-term social and economic impact. Union Corner was the first building that we did, and what we realised was the impact of doing that had an economic benefit for the landowner.
When people ask us, like, how did you get going or what did you do, you've got to just kind of bravely step into that space and go, do you know what, we can do this.
If our community doesn't see themselves in our buildings, then they won't come in as customers, and so it's really important to kind of hold a space and create an environment where the people that live locally benefit most.
After lockdown, March time, I lost my mojo, came here, straight away social interaction, just speaking to people. It's got everyone back on their feet again, so positivity, breeds positivity.
For me, to see the Millennium and the use go back into these unlocked buildings, it's brought more life and it's brought more vibrance to the street. I've never felt more connected to something in all the places I've lived in Plymouth.
So the key is community, the key is doing it yourselves, bit by bit, piece by piece, and actually it can be done all over the country.
The High Street in Crystal Palace has always had a very clear identity of its own, and the library and what we do here is just perfectly part of that ethos.
We grew out of a campaign to save 10 libraries in the local area which were due for closure. And in this particular area, there were community members that banded together and they formed a trust to take on the running of the building into community hands as a swap for there still being a library provision for the local community.
You're taking the perspective of the people in these local communities who have the expertise, have the passion to make things happen, to get involved in your own community, in your own high street, and make a difference.
Once you recognise there's a power and there's talent in our community, it means that the community can make the space work for them, which is why we've got all these people hiring, using the building in different ways. So we've built a network of organisations that recognise and value the benefit of having a community take leadership for an asset to make that asset work.
Any initiative like this, any initiative to get the high street back and vibrant and meaningful needs a mix of community spaces and businesses and landlords that are approached in the right way so they feel sympathetic to the needs of the local area, not just how much money they're going to get through the door. It's about working together to create that opportunity for new entrepreneurs and for new businesses and for startups and freelancers to be able to weave a community that is complex and vibrant and beautiful.
We walked in and it was just like food hall, artisan market, just like wealth of potential.
Radcliffe Market here, it's just kind of giving new businesses the opportunity to promote people to set up businesses within Radcliffe.
People walk past here and they like it drags people into the town, doesn't it really?
Before we took over as a community benefit society, the market was run by the council. We was down to the last 3 stalls in here, which is Bell's Eggs, Julie's Hair and Rapid Key Repair.
Things changed on the high street, we got the supermarket came, people's shopping habits changed and the market slowly fell out of favour.
The place got took over in January 2018 by our MD, Ricky Davis, and they decided to do these little Friday food nights and bring people in, and they went for the lease on this place to the council, put a bid in, and then that's where I think people like you guys stepped in, and this place has just gone from strength to strength.
Radcliffe Market, it's kind of like 2 markets in one. So you've got the traditional day market, which I'm a part of. So you've got your greengrocer, your butcher and your bakery now. And then you've got the night market, which is more street food.
Places like this are only getting popular. So the more this grows, the more that Radcliffe Market can put back into the community.
From all around Radcliffe are saying it's probably the best thing that's ever happened for a long time.
People come in happy, people go out happy, and that's what you want, isn't it?
I do think this is the future. I think a lot more community driven, people supporting each other, and this could be replicated in any single town anywhere. But most town centres, a lot of people would stay and come locally if there was something there for them to attract to. You don't need a big market hall, it could be a big building that's boarded up.
Getting access to funding for this project, for this building, for this trust is absolutely vital.
The High Street Buyout Fund could make a real difference. It would give us the cash to just be able to draw down, to be able to go and react when the market reacts, to be able to buy properties.
Put trust in your communities and what it is that people want. People can get access to these funds and recreate something very similar in their own towns that they can all be proud of.
We're calling for a High Street Buyout Fund to give more communities the opportunity to take on ownership and management of properties on the High Street. There's a real opportunity to shift more buildings in our town centres into community hands. This fund will enable communities to move quickly and secure properties before they fall into the hands of those who might not care about the long-term future of our towns and cities. We think there are 3 big things that can make a huge difference: our High Streets Buyout Fund, a new community right to buy, and the introduction of community improvement districts. The future of our High Street hangs in the balance, and we must act now.